Thank you for auditing Professor Skye's Record Review, the only first listen new music review show hosted by a French professor soon after he shaved for the first time in 2 years in order to teach his son how to do it. I'm going to be reviewing the album by Rae Jepsen called Dedicated Side B. And I must start this video by telling you I did not want to review Rae Jepsen. There's a lot of reasons why I did not want to do this video. Number one is that when I saw she released an album, the little lizard inside my brain that chases after clicks and chases after subscribers knew, oh, if I review Rae Jepsen, I'll get tons of views. She's popular, she has a rabid fan base. Whenever I review anyone in the constellation of female pop stars, I always get like 2, 3 times, 10 times as many views as I normally do. So, this channel is all about authenticity, You know, with Professor Skye, you're getting me in my living room and my dog's probably barking or walking over me or fighting each other. You know you get the real thing. So I was afraid of chasing clicks. Also, there's a lot of other albums I was interested in. I mean, Badly Drawn Boy. That's the kind of rock band I love to review. A band that I've heard of, but I don't know anything about. Or the sort of rockin' literate sounds of Airborne Toxic Event, where every song is like a short story. Or like the subdued brightness of this indie rock band Woods, which I really enjoyed. There's even a different female pop singer that I wanted to review more. Dagny, excellent, this Norwegian, wonderful album. But Rae Jepsen is irresistible. I could not stop myself from reviewing this album. I'm not speaking in hyperbole. I didn't want to. I listened to the first 2 tracks and I was like, God damn it, Rae, I have to review this album. Why? I'm going to try to get to the reason why as I review. As I go through this review, I will try to tell you why I couldn't stop myself from reviewing Rae Jepsen. Now, first of all, as I like to do, I like to begin most of my videos by professing my ignorance. My ignorance is profound, meaning there's a lot of it and it's meaningful. I know exactly 2 things about Rae Jepsen. 3 things. The first thing is that her name is not Rae Jepsen, as the first 3 takes of this video I accidentally called her. She is not Elroy's sister. Second thing, she recorded the song Call Me Maybe. Third thing, whenever people talk about her, like in the music press, or whenever I've heard people discuss her, they always go, no, she's more than that. She's more than a one-hit wonder. She's better than that. I'm like, really? Yeah, no, don't, she's good. So that's what I went into this album knowing. Call Me Maybe, not a member of the Jetsons, Call Me Maybe, and she's not just a one-hit wonder. But I wanted to take some time with that number 2. I wanted to take some time with the song Call Me Maybe, because I think Call Me Maybe is the way to understand what makes her such a great and necessary pop star. What makes this album, and again, it's called Side B. I've never heard Side A. I'm probably going to get like 50 comments from all these Jetson fans saying like, oh, Skye, you need to go back and review her 2015 album, whatever. I'm up for it. Tell me what to listen to. I love it. I've been going through Charlie XCX's back catalog for the last week. There's a lot of great stuff there. But the only thing I know about her is Call Me Maybe. And I believe that Call Me Maybe was the song of the decade. Not the best song, not my favorite song, but the song that best represents the 2010s. I believe it is the equivalent of the song Take On Me by a-ha. If you think about Take On Me by a-ha, first of all, musically, it sounds like the 80s. The synthesizers, the drum machines, the vocals, right? It's a one-hit wonder, and the 80s were filled with one-hit wonders. But mostly, the way that it represents the dominance of music videos, that because the video was so good, the song got so popular. This sort of weird medium message, mass media, mass culture, that song represents the 80s in a way that few other songs can. And I think Call Me Maybe does that for the 2010s. The production, bam, bam, bam. I mean, it sounds exactly like many other pop songs. It's a particularly good pop song. It's a particularly catchy pop song. But the thing that makes it more than, Party in the USA or whatever, or Baby, was the fact that it was the virality of the song. The fact that people sang it ironically and seriously at the same time. Like Rebecca Black's Friday, but not a joke. Not entirely a joke, but partly a joke. That weird semi-ironic tone of the entire song and the way people listen to it is in and of itself reflective of the 2010s. The video also, it's about her staring at a hot guy and then discovering that the hot guy is gay. The 2010s was the decade where gay rights, at least up until now, hopefully it'll continue, achieved some of their greatest victories, right? Where gay culture became much more mainstream. Where the video wasn't that like, oh, it's so funny this guy's gay. The video was, oh, it's so funny that she misunderstood this relationship. And the fact that it all happened through YouTube. So there we go. Carly Rae Jepsen, much like a-ha, one-hit wonder, let her go, goodbye. Well, much like my previous vote for the one-hit wonder female pop star who defined her decade, I Kissed a Girl by Katy Perry, she persisted in a way that a-ha couldn't. Now, before I put on my Todd in the Shadows hooded sweatshirt and talk to you about a-ha, you should watch his video because it turns out they're a really good band. He's, by the way, maybe the best YouTuber in existence, Todd in the Shadows. If you like my channel and you don't watch him, he does music criticism at the absolute highest level. I mean, seriously, like the rest of us are just sort of playing around. But okay, coming back to Carly Rae Jepsen. So here we have this singer. And so this is what I know about her, that she's this one-hit wonder who's actually good. And as I listened to this album, I just got drawn in more and more. And like, there's this sort of like, this opening track with this like wail. And it's Jack Antonoff. So already like my little sort of obnoxious contrarian alarms are going off. Oh, Lana Del Rey, Taylor Swift, Carly Rae Jepsen, always the same, keep the machine going. But it ends up being really good. And I think the reason why is that her sweetness feels real. And this is the most important part of Call Me Maybe that I haven't touched on yet. It's what the song means. So it's about changing gender roles, right? She's a girl and she's asking out a guy. Sadie Hawkins dance. This is the inverse of the way things are supposed to be. And the beauty of this song is that she's being strong and courageous and saying, call me, comma, maybe. That little bit of diffidence, that little bit of doubt is the strength of the song. It indicates that women have not had this power or been in this position for very long. The lack of confidence that's implied. It's this brilliant mixture of totally confident and totally vulnerable at the same time, which makes any of the banality of the song, bam, 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 and repeating the chorus like 50 times, makes it so strong. So when I listened to this album, I felt like it was that just extended out. That same like innocence and sweetness and then strong, powerful female desire. Because Call Me Maybe is a song and the video is a video about female desire, right? There's not that many great pieces of art made by women about female desire. The list is short and it's important. Women have agency in culture. So there's not that much in existence, and she adds so much to it because at no point on that song or in this album is she ever like the stalking vixen, like I'm gonna get you and I'm gonna kill you, and when you're done you're gonna be bloody on the side of the road because I'm a tiger who's gonna eat you and I'm a praying mantis. None of that. It's always just like, I really want you, I really want you, and I want you, and that's it. And there's some power to that, some innocence to it that makes her music transcend the fact that a lot of it sounds kind of typical, sounds like the Jack Antonoff machine is just rolling. So this great, brave, timid mixture dominated by female desire, I would say, defines the entire album. And I guess it makes her feel more like a real person and not just a pop goddess, but maybe both at the same time. Is this all because she's Canadian? I don't think so. There is a thin quality to her voice, kind of like Madonna, I would say at times, where she's not trying to be husky, she's not trying to be sultry, That's the thing. A lot of female singers try to be sultry and affected, and I never feel like her voice is particularly affected. At times, it does different things. You know, I mean, the album begins as they're going, it's like, there's a lot kind of going on, right? But in general, she stays in her register. She doesn't do a lot of acrobatics, but just enough to make it interesting. It's charming, and it's not ever weak. Even when the voice is thin, it's never weak. It's never too breathy. There's just something so wonderfully solid about everything in this album. I guess that's why people say Carly Rae Jepsen is not just a one-hit wonder. So that's kind of the first track. I sort of described it a little bit there. And then what's interesting is the next track is, I'm sorry, you know, my notes got all mixed up. Oh, you know why? Because I printed them two-sided. I was like, boy, did I jump all the way ahead to that? And at times, you know, but before I get back to the first song, her albums feel kind of like the 50s. Like there's kind of like that sort of sweetness vibe, like kind of a musical callback to the 50s. But again, with the 2020s female empowerment. So it's quite nice. And let me get to the first song. Let me start going track by track. I'm going to pick Citroën here. Okay. This Love Isn't Crazy, that first track. That's how it starts. Her voice is really strong. I love the themes of this song. You can't hurt me. Love is cruel. I mean, you can hurt me, but love isn't cruel. I don't know. I've been listening to so many albums in the last 2.5 years, and so much of it's like, love is cruel, and love is death, and love is misery, and I'm gonna kill myself after taking some painkillers, right? None of that here. It's just like, love isn't cruel. And everything is very well produced. You know, Jack Antonoff does great things in the background, with like her vocals being doubled, but very low in the mix. The voice gets doubled, gets tripled, lots of kind of like built up parts, and the post-chorus kind of drops out, and just this idea, this love isn't crazy. And there is an intimacy and a truth to many of her lyrics that is missing in many other pop stars' lyrics. If you've ever been in love, one of the primary things you fear is that you're crazy. Like you think, like, I can't actually be this much in love. This has to be neuroses. This has to be pathology. That's how I felt basically every time I've ever fallen in love. And so to have this song and just start right here with just saying like, this love isn't crazy. That's great. And that's true. Going next track, Window. It's a little bit more sparse, a little bit more funky. She repeats the end of the chorus, like kind of repeats it with like weird sort of very 2020 sounding pitched vocals. But it's kind of a sweet love song. And it's about the need for intimacy and about not having the door shut off to you. So again, I feel that there's a lot of truth in this album. And again, I don't know anything about her. As far as I know, she might be dating Brad Pitt or something. I don't know. I don't pay attention to this stuff. She might be gay. I don't know that either. But what I do know is that she writes about love with a lot of accuracy, just on these first two tracks. The feeling crazy and then just always wanting more intimacy and not to have the door shut on you, which is really nice. And it's really cool because it then leads into this bizarre two-part song. I've never heard this before. She basically has the same song back to back. Different producers, slightly different lyrics, same theme. Your body is my home. Oh, okay, that's a good line. That's a good poetic line. So two songs where she repeats this line over and over again. Your body is my home. This is something that actually sounds kind of creepy. If this were a male singer, this was like John Mayer, like that, your body is a wonderland. Restraining order. But I don't feel that way coming from her, but it's really cool having both of these songs back to back doing so well. So the first one has this cool kind of super 80s sounding sequence drum machine, just keeps on saying, can't stay, oh wait, oh wait, oh wait, oh wait. And this is one of those things where, you know, I was listening to this so I was driving to the garden center with my kids in my minivan. All of these things are true. And my kids are music snobs like me. And so I had this funny thing where I was forcing my kids to listen to top 40 pop music in the minivan. It's usually the other way around, you know, where the dad's like, we're listening to Supertramp and that's it. but this was the opposite, where like my kids wanted to listen to some Radiohead B-sides because we were discussing what's the most overlooked Radiohead song. That's what we actually talk about in the car. But I was like, no, we're listening to Rae Jepsen. My daughter was like, Dad, turn it off. Anyway, and this was the song. Because, you know, just when you hear something like, can't stay, oh wait, oh wait, oh wait, oh wait, oh wait. It's just like that extra orchestra hit in Call Me Maybe. Bam, bam, bam. Where your first reaction is like, I'm annoyed. This isn't cool. This isn't good. I don't like this. But if you open up that window, you open up that door, it's kind of catchy. Oh wait, oh wait, oh wait. There's an innocence and a sweetness to it that you just can't deny. So it's a great track. And then there's basically the part 2 to that track, which is called Stay Away. Because the whole idea is that you can't stay away. But here the vocals take more of a lead and the synthesizers take a little bit back. Just repeats it over and over again. And the way that she describes, and again, my view of her is so colored by Call Me Maybe, but everything feels like Call Me Maybe. Everything, the strength of that song just feels like it's exploded across the entire album. Because she says things, I can't take more of your hesitating. So she's constantly trying to get more from this hot guy who she just wants more. And like, your body is my home. And like, she just has all this desire and she just can't get enough. But it feels honest. And that's, sorry, I was looking at my notes and I just, sometimes it does autocorrect. And so I have no idea what this means. What does that mean? Okay, doesn't matter. We'll keep moving on. I always get comments that people like it when I make mistakes. So there you go. The next track, This Is What They Say. A little bit, this is where her vocals are a little bit too thin, I would say. It feels like kind of filler. But then, once again, I'm struck by her lyrics. That's the thing, is how can you take the person who wrote Call Me Maybe seriously? Well, you can take her seriously by realizing that Call Me Maybe was great in the first place. And let's listen to some of these lyrics here. This is what they say falling in love is supposed to feel like. So this is interesting because it makes the whole album almost like a theme album about what is love. What is love? You know, like it makes you wonder, like in the beginning, this love isn't crazy. And they say, this is what feeling in love is supposed to feel like. So you really, there's a lot of great albums that are breakup albums. This is a great get-together album. This is a great new love album. You know, I'm just celebrating 2 years. When I met my wife about 2 years and 2 days ago. And we've been celebrating this whole month and getting excited. Like, I still remember all these feelings. If this album came out 2 years ago, I would have been listening to this all the time, being like, this love isn't crazy. This is what love is supposed to feel like. I keep falling for your open mouth. A little bit of odd, very specific eroticism that she throws in from time to time, which keeps it from being just total bubblegum and not just totally safe and totally innocent. And then she says, you've got me feeling confident. I again go back to Call Me Maybe. I again go back to this concept of women's confidence, especially in relationship with men. You've got me feeling confident. This is a beautiful line that women are essentially trained to lose their confidence. They're trained not to believe in themselves. But this is what they say love feels like. You've got me feeling confident. This is just great. This is a great album. I apologize, Rae Jepsen. His boy Elroy, Carly Rae, his singer. All right. I have 2,000 subscribers now. I think when I get to 10,000, people will make songs when I sing. That's my hope. You just put that in comments. Heartbeat is a nice track, kind of sleepy, gentle song. This feels like some studio producers were like, we need a quiet song. But it's nice. It has like a cool cassava sound, like electric in the background. Just a kind of sweet, loving 80s pop song. And then Summer Love. I spent the entire fall listening to albums that were supposed to be summer bangers. Like, especially the Taylor Swift album. Like, there are all these albums that came out, they're like, it's the summer, baby! It came out in October. So this is nice, because Summer Love is an actual summer track. It's unlike the rest of the album. It's got this really strong fuzz bass going, a 4-on-the-floor drum beat. Her singing is a little bit too breathy for me on this, but then the bridge has a nice like disco melody. And then the more I listened to it, the more I realized that this is kind of an ABBA song. It feels like even the name Summer Love, the instrumentation, especially on the bridge, the way that she sings it, it's like a neo-ABBA song. If I tell you that something is successfully neo-ABBA, and your first reaction is, oh, I don't like that, then you need to revisit ABBA, because ABBA is great, and this song really is quite good. It's not my favorite on the album, but it's a nice break stylistically, because it's so based on, based on the bass. I'm going to say it. It's so based on the bass. Then the next track, Fake Mona Lisa. This is the weirdest track. I don't understand this track. I don't know what she's talking about. This feels like she had some kind of like one night stand or something with some super hot guy. But I like this because it's what I call a two clapper. It's the kind of song where like while you're listening to it, you can go, you know, like there's certain songs where there are little points where you go and you just want to do two claps. I love two clappers. This is a two clapper. Also, it's called Fake Mona Lisa. And while I was listening to this album, my children were playing Animal Crossing. There's a mechanism in the game where you buy real or fake art. So there was actually a real fake Mona Lisa in Animal Crossing. She had funny eyebrows. While I was listening to this. Very weird, very meta. Does she play Animal Crossing? Is that where she got this idea? I don't think so, because this feels like a very specific night of love explained. That's another theme throughout the album, is her talking about like wanting more. Like, I had you once, but I want you again, and I can't sleep without thinking about you and all this. That was my stomach, excuse me. Let's see. That night we painted over your fake Mona Lisa, lipstick on the corners, said her smile was teasing you. Oh, you took my clothes off, said it's getting hotter. Don't know how to swim, but let's breathe underwater. Obscure, interesting, erotic, again. But the way that she delivers it, everything just feels safe. Everything just feels sweet. Even though on the front of the album, she's sitting there with her shirt off, covering up her chest, it just feels innocent. I don't know how to describe that. Let's sort the whole thing out. Okay. I figured this song out. I had to listen to it a few times. Do you know what this song is? This song is a Strokes song. Re-listen to Let's Sort the Whole Thing Out and imagine Julian Casablancas singing it. Imagine the rest of the band playing the drums and the guitar and the bass. It's just an indie pop track. And it's really cool. It's got this great drum beat where the last beat of the second measure is this like roll. So it's like kind of like that, but better than that. And it just has a really cool sound. And she sings the whole time. And I just love this idea that like, let's sort the whole thing out is actually an invitation to sex. Like you're touching me and I feel something from you. So let's sort the whole thing out. Even even the lyrics feel like a Strokes song where it's like, it's kind of like a wry, ironic way of expressing yourself, but you're trying to express something real. It's quite interesting, and it's great. And I really enjoy the chorus. It's kind of like annoying in a good way. And then at the end, it gets insanely goofy. There's like these distorted vocals at the end. I think they went a little bit too far there. Then Come Back. I think that's the next Antonov track. The whole thing isn't by Antonov. He's just on a couple tracks. But whenever I see his name, my radar goes off. Come Back. If there's one theme that annoys me the most with the female pop singer genre, it's the I'm just finding me and who am I and myself is me and I am me and I am me. It's a little bit too solipsistic, navel-gazing, looking at yourself, but maybe it's necessary, you know? I don't think 42-year-old dudes in their living room are the intended audience. So maybe these songs about coming back to yourself and about finding your voice and all that really are meaningful. And maybe they need to be there because the young girls and young women who are listening to this relate to it and it means a lot to them. I don't know, but I don't love it. The track Solo is basically a Chainsmokers track. It feels the most like modern, cut up vocal sounds, and kind of a bad pun, like solo, you're alone, but don't waste your whole night feeling so low. And then there was a Chainsmoker breakdown towards the end, but it's not bad. It's fine. Then the last track, now I Don't Hate California After All. I assume this is a joke for her fans. I assume that she has some song called I Hate California or something. But it's cool. It's got kind of like a Casio drum-like rhythm, the arpeggiated 50s style chords, and then there's just like tropical sounds, like beaches and guitars going, and it's just a very kind of pleasant ending. So there you go. There's my review, my unwanted review of Carly Rae Jepsen. I can't help it. She's a very, very, very good pop star, and this is a very good pop album. I guess I should listen to dedicated side A. I do like to ask, because sometimes super fans watch my videos, and they find one thing that I said and get mad at me, and then the rest of them say, thank you for this awesome video, and say, you should listen to this. So what's the best Carly Rae Jepsen album out there? And also, who's your favorite member of the Jetsons? Would you put that in the comments as well? I mean, Rosie, right? It has to be Rosie. She's like the only cool, she's the only cool member of the Jetsons. Do the Jetsons suck? Okay. Well, until next time, for Bo and Toby, who maintained mostly quiet, there's the